One of the biggest mistakes you can make with a rental property is not charging market rents. If you charge too much money for rent, your property will sit vacant for months. But if you charge too little for rent, you'll be missing out on cash flow every month, guaranteed. Either way, you're leaving money on the table, but charging too much for rent is definitely worse. My name is David Pere, and you're watching the Millionaire YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and get ready to learn some knowledge. I learned this the hard way in 2016. I was trying to rent one side of my duplex for $75 more than I should have been. It took a full month for me to realize it and drop the price. The kicker here is that I lost a full month's rental income by trying to earn an extra $75. Think about that. One whole month lost rental income could be worth more than an entire year of $75 extra in rent. That depends on your market, obviously. You need to find the perfect price range for your rental. Asking too little costs you money. And as a result, new real estate investors often try to charge as much as possible for rent. This often results in hundreds of dollars lost due to vacancy. That's where Rentometer steps in to save the day. Rentometer is the easiest way to compare your rent to other local properties. It is very user-friendly and gives you a detailed report based on the property address, current rent, number of bedrooms. Here is an example of the report it produces. As you can see, it appears that my duplex is currently being rented for about $41 a month under market rent. Now I know that I should be able to increase the rent by $30 to $40 a month when it comes time to renew the lease. That is money that I was leaving on the table. Now, I also like that it includes the average, median, 25th percentile, and 75th percentile in this report so that you can weed out luxury and slums. As you can see, this is a very simple report to read and utilize, and this is just the free report. Now, Rentometer isn't the end-all be-all of market rents. You should still do your due diligence and ask local market experts what they think. A fun technique is to call local Craigslist advertisements and ask how many applications they are getting for their rentals. This allows you to compare images of their properties and their prices to the unit that you were trying to rent out. Rentometer is an information hub, but they don't allow you to list your unit for rent on their site. Now, that might be a cool outlying market for them to tap into in the future. Please note that I tried to use rentrange.com in order to provide you a good comparison site, but it wanted me to create an account to even look at what the reports offered, and it just turned me off immediately. Rentometer is much more highly recommended across the internet in general, so I'm sticking to them anyway. Now, a free membership versus a paid membership. Rentometer offers a free trial in order for you to generate some of their reports. With the free trial, you can run a report of 5 properties before you need to upgrade to the Pro membership. If you upgrade to Pro, you can opt to pay $29 a month or annually $199 a year. Now, I know that this sounds a little expensive until you realize that I could pay for this membership just by bringing one of my units up to market rent, according to the $41 a month example above. That alone would be worth the cost to me. The ways to use Rentometer vary, but it is undoubtedly a great platform to use. Some of my favorite bits of information from the Rentometer Pro report include the sale information, deed information, square footage, rental history, and current rent prices. The sale information allows you to see when the property was last sold and at what price, whereas the deed information in the report allows you to see the original mortgage amount, the date it started, and the mortgage company, which allows you to look into the mortgage information to see how much equity the owner might have in the property. Being able to compare the bedrooms and square footage of rivaling rental properties will give you a more accurate depiction of what kind of rent that you can expect from your property. The rental history is useful for quieting the what if the market crashes fear that you will have, and it will allow you to see what the worst case scenario looks like. Look back to 2008, 2009. The current rent price, assuming it has been updated, is nice because it allows you to quickly analyze whether there's room for you to increase your rent or not. Now, granted, you can find a lot of this information on the internet or through talking to the owner, but I really like being able to view this information beforehand in order to go into negotiations confidently. Now, in his book, Buy, Rehab, Rent, Refinance, Repeat, the Burr rental property investment strategy made simple. David Green recommends utilizing Rentometer as the first step in determining rental prices. He mentions using Rentometer and then pulling up Zillow, which is a similar website, in order to compare the rental size and condition to yours with Rentometer Pro. With Rentometer Pro, this has already been done for you, making it a one-stop shop for determining rental prices. Now, is Rentometer Pro worth it? I believe it is. If you're buying a single property, test out the free trial and see what you think. Realistically, there's no reason to buy a Pro membership for just one property. However, if you're buying or already own multiple properties, this could pay for itself almost immediately. And it'd be a great tool in your chest. Now, Rentometer is especially useful if you are self-managing rental properties. If I was you, I would hate to be missing out on income due to under or overpricing my rental properties. Now, if this is something you want to check out, I'll put a link down below. I recommend you go take a look and play around on their website. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.